Hello, good afternoon. We're ready to begin at this time, and we'd like to welcome you to our Diversity Festival. And today's topic is called Culture of Work. We are going to discover what it's like in the field of information technology and what kind of skills and educational background are needed to be successful. And so we've already gathered numerous questions, but before we target the questions, I'd like to introduce two of the panel members here. In front of me, I have Mr. Anthony Vitola to my right, in the white shirt here. Mr. Anthony Vitola is the Director of Information Technology, and he has been working at Housatonic Community College for approximately 18 years. He provides management direction for the IT staff. He manages the IT budget. He's involved in the choice of equipment for staff and academic computing, providing the necessary IT support for academic initiatives here at Housatonic Community College, and we welcome you, Mr. Vitola. We have with us Mr. Bruce Baumley to his left. He is the Assistant Director of Information Technology. He's been with HCC 8 years, 34 years though, in the field in various capacities. He supports network and anything attached to it. He's accountable for ensuring the technology, sound and functional design, installation, and configuration. You can just imagine all the requirements to protect the college's personal confidential data. And he's also responsible for researching and analyzing network systems and methods and recommending those best suited for enhancing the productivity and efficiency of the college's operation. So he supervises and provides guidance to technicians within the department. And he also collaborates with other IT directors and CIOs within the CSCU system, ensuring that HCC is engaged in current projects that benefit the college. And with that, I will leave Mr. Kofi.
Good afternoon, everybody. So my name is Kofi, and I have the pleasure of introducing to my left, the immediate left, Mr. Mike Tapper. So Mr. Mike Tapper is an IT technician and help desk coordinator. He's been at HCC for 9 years. And among his duties, he helps manage the help desk. He supervises student workers and assists our customers, which include but are not limited to students, staff, and faculty with technical issues, and helps inform the users with needed information about computers, applications, and how to use them effectively. And then next to Mr. Mike Tapper, we have Mr. Samuel Hines. And Sam has been with HCC for 18 years. He's an administrative IT coordinator, and his work consists from working with maps, Mac and IP phones, and basic IT. His day-to-day functions are not limited to fixing and installing software and hardware data. So this comprises our panel. We're glad to have him here, and we're going to begin with our Culture of Work panel. Thank you.
Okay, so prior to your arrival, we gathered some questions already, and due to the time constraints, right, since we got started a little late and we don't know who else will be coming with additional questions, we might maybe, if it's up to you, if each one wants to take turns answering the same question, but if you just want to pass, we will move on to the next question. So I will begin with the first question, and if our audience has a question, we like to get it from you. We have some 3x5 cards here that we will pass out in a second. If you have a question, we'd like you to write it out and we will get it from you. Okay, so question number 1. Given the rapid change and evolution of technology, how do you stay sharp as professionals in the IT field? It's okay, you can just answer the question through the microphone so the other people outside of this room can hear the answers from the screens that are displayed through the college.
The only way you really stay sharp in the field is by ongoing training. We provide a lot, and Goose here to my left is very instrumental in making sure that all of our people get up-to-date training when they need it, and we get almost as much as we want when we want. But training, learning from your peers is the way we go.
Okay, great. Please remember to speak loud into that microphone.
So we
Okay.
actually just had a question submitted via Twitter.
Great.
And actually asked, how is working in tech different than working in other areas? So what are your thoughts on that, about working in technology? If you've had the liberty of working outside of technology as well, how is it different?
So the question is, how is working in tech different than working in other areas?
I believe there's no difference at all, just the job. And it's no different than any other job. Things need to be done, things need to be fixed. Whatever you do in life, it's just a job.
Excellent.
Anyone else want to answer the question? Mr. Abdullah?
Well, I think Sam was being a little bit cautious, but
Into the mic.
Sam was being a little bit cautious because he knows very well that his job is, 50% panic, and when something doesn't work, Sam has to get it going because it affects a lot of people. Not where in other jobs maybe you can let something go, but you are hands-on with everybody, and he is hands-on. So.
Great. Mike, did you have an answer for that?
I worked in the phone company, and working in the phone company, I found that I worked at a lot of different places repairing things, and every job, which pretty much every degree that anyone would learn here, requires some degree of technology. So to try to skip around and do your computer classes last is probably a bad idea, because you need that computer experience to be successful once you're gone from the college.
Great, thank you.
That's awesome. And actually thinking about what you just said right now, and this also relates to question number one and a new question that popped up about what other fields is a tech major compatible with. Again, in dealing with the fact that technology is constantly changing, and sometimes, as a professional in the field, you need to maybe, if you can't work in technology, maybe look outside. What would you, our panel, what do you think about, opportunities for working outside of technology, if you do have a technology-focused degree?
Bruce, you want to tackle that one?
Well, almost any technology connects to a network today. So, for example, HVAC. If you're not an IT person per se, but you're an HVAC individual and you have the knowledge of how networks work and the technology involved in that, that's very important. So, HVAC is an admirable profession, but everything connects to a network today. All of our building controls are connected to a network. And so having additional technology with that is an enhancement.
Okay.
Okay. I'd like to tackle this question, since I am a female. Can women expect a welcoming environment in technology fields? Mr. Vitola.
I can speak on behalf of the gentlemen that are in our department, that we have, in the last couple of years, hired a female technician, and Bruce was responsible for that. And we are very, very satisfied with her performance, and defer to her just like we would defer to anybody else. If she knows what she's doing, she's just another deferral. It's fine, we welcome them.
The women. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
I have 7 student workers, and half of them are women. And all the student workers aren't necessarily IT people, but what I notice about the women are the fact that they'll take a little more time to help a student or a faculty member learn what they're trying to, achieve. And I think that's a really good quality, because in the certification courses now, they have another section that's customer service. So it's not only just fixing the problem, it's how you fix the customer also, because you want that customer to still use your service.
Good point. Thank you. Kofi?
Do we want to take a question from
Yes.
here? Okay, yeah.
Anyway.
So, I think our latest question was, I'll be graduating with a CIS associate's degree. What will I need to do now to become an IT professional. So, you know, having sort of learned what you need to know in order to be, you know, have the skills, you know, what's the next step moving forward? What would you recommend for a student who has an IT degree?
So this person is graduating with a computer information systems associate degree.
Degrees are very important. I did things backwards. I started in the industry without a degree, and only recently got my bachelor's just a few months ago. So never discount the degree, but the hands-on piece is very important, and certifications are extremely important today. Not just you come out with the associate's degree, and the conundrum is, I don't have the experience, so I'm not going to hire you. That's what a lot of folks will run into.
Mm-hmm.
So getting that opportunity to get your foot in the door and start with the job, and then get some experience and continue to grow. Don't stop. Don't take your foot off the gas because tech changes every 6 months. So.
That's great. Okay. So what is the average working day like for you as an IT professional? Sam.
Very busy. A lot of phone calls, a lot of email calls. Busy, really, really busy. The day goes by really fast. You got to be on your game. That's for sure. But the problems could go from day to day. You could have a nice day, and you could have a busy day. It all depends.
So I'd like to add to that question. So are most of your problem solving, the typical day of problem solving, anything related to technology, is it more software, hardware, or a combination of both?
Well, hardware, not so much. A lot of software, a lot of email, a lot of printer problems, stuff of that sort.
Okay, thank you. Yes, Mr.
One of the things that people don't realize is we are really subject to our environment. If something goes wrong in the environment, the electrical system, the power grid, fluctuations, somebody changes something in the system office, for us that's sheer panic, and today we don't go home until it's fixed. And these people stay until it's fixed.
Thank you. So question 3. So what parts of your job do you find most challenging?
Or most enjoyable?
Yeah, I agree. The people.
The people.
Because a lot of times you'll get a trouble, someone reports they're having an issue, but they don't describe it correctly. So me personally, I try to be a detective and keep asking questions to get more information out of them, because more than likely it's something that they did and didn't realize it was going to cause a problem, or it's something they're doing in the class and we're not in your class, so we don't know, so we got to find out what you were doing in class last night or today to try to get back to where your problem was to try to help you solve it.
Yeah, very good. Okay, so I have a question here from the screen. How is working in technology different than working in other areas? But that's a question that was posed by someone out there in the screen. How is working in technology different than working in other areas?
I don't know why. Technology's so fast. I mean, like Bruce was saying, you got to be on your A game. So it switches really, really fast. I don't know about other areas, but we live in a fast-paced world, in the IT world.
Okay.
To augment that, Sam is right, because what happens is things go wrong very fast. And you have to be aware, think on your feet, and be able to fix it. So that's probably the difference. There's more instantaneous reaction involved than jobs, because you often don't have too long to plan.
Okay.
So, I mean, from my non-tech understanding of it, as somebody who works in technology, again, this ties into the idea of professional development, right? You just constantly have to be learning because the field itself is evolving so fast. relative to other fields. So is it fair to say that's how, it is for you guys?
Right.
Okay, cool. Thank you. And okay, so we kind of touched on this a little bit, but I'm going to pose the question. Do I need to have an IT? Do I need a 4-year degree to be an IT professional? I think Bruce, you mentioned that you started out, without the credentials or the degree, and I would assume you were okay.
Well, yes and no. Today it's very competitive. So again, a degree is extremely important. Starting with an associate's degree and moving into a 4-year degree and then actually specializing, depending on the field that you're in. So if you were, in our capacity, if you were to look to advance within the career path, you would need a degree in order to do so. In order to sit in Mr. Patola's chair, you need a master's degree. So you're not going to get there without that. Can you be successful without that level of attainment? Yes, but if you want to move up the line, you're going to have to not only increase your technical knowledge, but you'll have to increase the letters after your name. So you're going to need more than associates.
Okay. I have a question that I find interesting. How much math does anyone need in order to work in IT? 1 + 1.
That's
Well, I think I can answer that because I also teach that here as an adjunct. And we'll find that most of the math you need, surprisingly enough, is that math you need to get yourself a degree. Once you're in the IT world, you're in your programming. Your programming is not numerically based, it is language based. And your communication is all language based. Mm-hmm. So your math skills have to be good enough to get you the degree you want to get there. There are some specific IT positions that require more math, but I don't believe in general. No.
But to actually know math, to function in the information technology field, it's not necessary. Is that what you're saying?
Well, you do need some math because you have to figure out what's going on sometimes. Mm-hmm. You don't have to be, you don't have to have a degree in mathematics to go through your algebras and your pre-calculus and the like, but and your statistics and all those good things. But you don't have to be a math whiz. You have to know your math. If that makes any sense.
Basic math.
Basic math. Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
So it's funny, while we're here, I think one of our panel guests actually referenced this question, so I hope I hear that individual actually answer this. So how often do you take your work home?
We are on 24/7. Email never stops, and you just stay connected. I think that's the world today anyways. There's always email, it never sleeps. So you feel obligated sometimes to check your email during the night and get set up for tomorrow morning. You're always on. Always on.
Well,
Well, this school is blessed with the IT people they have, because I've seen emails come in at all hours of the night from people who are doing their homework at home. And if anyone on this crew can answer that email right then and there, they do. And they don't think twice about it. They're helping someone.
so I hearing you sort of answer that, I wonder now. So how do you create a work-life balance if you're like always on as a professional?
Anyone of you?
Well, Mr. Vitola, take that one.
You take your tip from the computer world itself. It's on, it's off. Just jump. If you look at it, you can handle it, you handle it. You can't, you can't. You just carry on with what you're doing. But you're not obligated to do all hours, but these gentlemen and lady do respond to all hours. Doesn't seem to interfere, except when you have a meltdown at school. It doesn't seem to interfere with that.
Oh. Thank you.
I have a question. Based on the fact that you have to be proficient at what you do in the workplace, are you required or do you feel obligated to ensure that you are up to date with information technology at home to keep up with the workplace? You know, the best upgraded phone, computer, etc.
Yeah, as Sam was saying, as computer people, we are involved with technology by default, whether we like to or not. And those people that know us bring their technology to us, let us know what's new, what's out, have you seen it, have you tried it? So if we try to get away from it, we pretty much can't. It's constantly being, fed to us one way or another.
Okay. Anyone else? You're constantly being fed, but what does that mean? Do you have the greatest technology at home?
No, I don't necessarily have the greatest technology, but I would use friends and family. If you have an iMac and I don't know how to use one or I want to see how it works, I might never buy one or use it, but I'll look at yours to understand what I may have to answer for a student downstairs that's on a Mac that I don't know a lot about, but I can answer certain basic things. Or with mobile devices. If something comes out and I see it, and sometimes my student workers come in and they have a new device, but it gives me an opportunity to look at it, because if I don't look at it tomorrow, another student comes in with a problem on the device I didn't want to look at yesterday. So it kind of behooves you to try to grab as much as you can, even if it's only a small part of the big picture, because then you're familiar and it'll help you get to solving more problems.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else, Bruce or Mr. Tom?
Also, one other thing, sometimes you tend to defer your technology at home because, tomorrow when you get to work and I sit down at the desk, the technology's right here, so I should duplicate it here.
It's like a cook going home and cooking.
Okay. Do we have questions from the floor? Seems like Susan Monroe has a question or two.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry, I was going to actually add a short Twitter phone here,
Oh,
but,
we can ask it.
okay. What is the average yearly salary for an IT technician? Maybe somebody entering the field and maybe someone with no experience.
Say again, please?
What is the average yearly salary for someone in the field? Maybe someone just entering this job and then later on someone with more experience.
Well, I can only answer that as it pertains to college and the educational system in the state of Connecticut and their educational system. But there are some very premium salaries coming out of the city and places like that that I can offer. The order of magnitude of a starting salary of an educational institution in this state is probably between $50,000 and $55,000, and that can go all the way up to the BOR level, in which there's getting pays of over almost $200,000.
Yeah.
This may tie in with another question. When people are saying they want to get experience in the IT field, you might have to overlook your pay, because there are jobs that people make $12, $15 an hour, and they may come here and actually fix something for us, like a printer or a motherboard in a computer. But that's the job that you may want to take to get your experience, because 6 months into that job, you have experience. So when you have that job, now's the opportunity for you to look for the job that you really want, or an intermediate job that's on the way to what you want. But you have to start somewhere. So start with the tech and not with the pay, and you'll get to the pay.
Great. I have a question, maybe all four of you can take turns answering this question. How did you start in IT? And this may sound like an unfair question. Do you enjoy what you're doing?
I started at Houston Community College. Actually, I took Intro to Computer course. That was back in 1990, 1998. And it's history ever since. I just excelled from there. You have to truly enjoy what you do. If you don't enjoy what you do, it's just in life, you know, you have to care about what you work for. And that's it.
Okay, thank you. Mike?
I personally feel that whatever we do in life, we should always have a passion for it. I personally love dealing with people, and every job I've had to deal with people either across a counter or in their house or them coming to my office now at Housatonic. But in each situation, I know that I have to provide something that they need and give them the feeling that they will feel welcome to come back to get our services in the future. A lot of times, things that we do may go unnoticed, but because they're in the background, a lot of people don't see them. But there are necessary evils that we do to keep customers happy.
Bruce?
Well, I fell into the IT industry actually getting laid off. I worked in a commercial printing plant, and the doors closed, and it was the mid-'80s. The Connecticut economy was in dire straits, so I had some job retraining, and I was taught how to repair computers, which today we don't repair them, we replace them. We just simply purchase something new. And that was 34 years ago. So I've been on an evolutionary path, and some days when you ask if I continue to like it and enjoy it, I'll be blunt, no I don't. I look for other opportunities. So what I'm trying to do is enhance where I am now and migrate into more computer security, which would be a new chapter in my life, as opposed to the network plumbing that I do today. So I'm looking at expanding my career in the direction of computer security, information systems in that direction. So trying to reignite a passion.
Can you explain a little bit about computer security? What do you mean by that?
Well, every device is hackable. I think the recent press demonstrates that nothing that you have, hold, use is impervious to anyone if they want to get the information. So it's a constant leapfrog to stay ahead of that technology. As fast as the hole is exposed, it has to be plugged. And then there's forensics that go along with that. So that's an exciting field, and that's kind of the direction I'd like to take my second career, if you will. So.
Thank you.
Wish Bruce well, this is my last career. I had started a little bit different evolution. I started as an electrical engineer with radar systems, and somehow got into the programming of those systems and spent my first 20 years in programming, and it just evolved into hardware, first PCs, and the first levels, and that's where I came from. So mine was not an IT degree per se, but an electrical engineering degree, which got me here.
Okay, great.
I think I have answered the question before. I really love my job, and one thing that I found out in the past year is a lot of classes that seem like they're worthless have meaning. Because if I deal with a problem customer, I might need psychology. If I have to deal with someone who's doing Excel and I have to help them solve a problem, I have to know my math because there's formulas in Excel. So all the classes that you take that appear to be meaningless, after a while, they show value. When you're a technician, you have to write, you have to explain things to your customers.
Mm-hmm.
Your English has to be correct.
Yes.
You know, when you're reading technical manuals, you got to understand what you're reading. Comprehension. So every class does have value if you get to the right job.
Thank you. And I have another question, unless Kofi wants to pose a question.
No, just to sort of like extend or to sort of delve more into that, because, you know, working on the cap, a lot of times, I have run across students who, working on the cap, and then also as a student myself some years ago, at a four-year school where, a lot of students are, okay, I'm engineering, I'm going into like IT. Why do I have to take English 101? Or why do I have to take, art history, right? And I've certainly heard it enough to know that it is something that is widespread. Not a lot of people who are in the field sometimes think that it's not necessary to spend time on these other things. So how do you convince a student, right, who hopes to be a professional, like you guys, in the field, to, pay just as much attention in, religion 101 or, psychology, like you said, Mike. So how do you convince that student? How do you make them connect the dot between gen ed, a basic gen ed class that's not directly related to technology and what they hope to be in the future?
Well, sooner or later, you run out of technology. And that's about it. Some things technology has.
I'm sorry, I didn't even hear the answer.
Sooner or later, you run out of technology.
Oh, okay.
Technology doesn't answer everything.
That's why we don't trust Google?
Skynet?
So my question has to do with our student population. One of our prerequisites is to ensure that they are computer literate before they graduate. And I heard one or two of you say that they shouldn't save all those computer classes for last, right? Because you need them at the beginning to accomplish what's before you. Do you foresee that besides the computer literacy course, that they either take Intro to Computers or they take the test, placement test, right? Not placement test, but the test to ensure that they pass, that they can do computers or type, basically. Do you foresee that there will be another component added to that because of all the technological advancements that are happening every 6 months, let's say?
Well, I would strongly suggest that the college front-end load that be one of the first classes that students take. They need to know how to log onto a computer. You will not believe how many questions Mike deals with in a simplistic way about logging onto a computer and how to access Blackboard. And if I didn't have the computer literacy that I'm lucky to have, I could not have completed my online degree. So you absolutely need to know how to use this technology, and more than just a phone. You need to know how to use Word. You need to know how to use Excel. You have to be able to articulate your thoughts, and you have to be able to do that on a computer. There's no other way around it. So it should be required right from the jump within the first semester. And if you don't pass it, oh well, you don't go on. You keep going until you take that class and pass it. That's my opinion.
Okay, so that is very related to our audience member who just said that our students should be advised, right, that we take Intro to Computers course first semester so that we can properly format papers, etc. Or take the website design class, which fills the same requirement. She didn't know that it could build websites. I didn't know I could build websites, which would have been much more useful to me. Most people don't let you know this, and it's not clearly stated in the brochures or catalog, right? Or with the advisors that she's spoken to. She found out that she blew credits. I'm sorry, I should have had you ask the question. And didn't web in the course?
Oh, I ended up blowing my credits, whereas had I known, building the websites would have been more applicable to my life and much more useful. I mean, I can format a paper halfway decently, and using the tutors I'm an AV student, so formatting the papers, I can definitely fake that good enough to get my courses and get my papers and get my grade, but building the website and taking that course would have fulfilled the requirements, and I would have money coming in now, and life would be lovely. So had the advisors even known, and if the brochures and the catalogs been more clearly written, life would just be better. So I'm kind of stating it for public edification.
Well, to jump off on that, nothing makes your paper look better than pie charts and graphs and bars and things like that, because after a while your professor gets tired of reading words.
Exactly.
So if you can put something in a visual way, it has much more of an impact.
And
it's going to differentiate you from the other papers. And plus it fills pages, so when you have 35, 40 pages to write, you can gobble up some pages pretty quick.
And you can carry that into the workforce also.
Absolutely.
Well, if I'd like to add to that, I think it's also important that students, and not all students, read the description of a course that they're about to take. And so if you knew that it includes creating websites and brochures and things of that nature, and you don't have the capability of doing so, then it's going to require a computer, a website course to take prior to that course. And so many times we don't know because we don't know what we're getting into, or it's not as descriptive as you said in the catalog so that people can know beforehand. So in addition to that, I believe you had a question about more computer stations. What are we doing for the college regarding more kiosks, for example, since we're expecting our enrollment to increase and we possibly will have more students flowing through the college. Do we anticipate seeing more kiosk stations around the school in Beacon Hall and Lafayette Hall?
Kiosk stations?
Well, where they build their schedule.
There are ample number of kiosk stations in the college. However, they are not all quite deployed right now. Some have been inactivated for apparent lack of use. But we do have the facilities to put them back in place should we need them.
Okay. Susan?
What kind of technology goes unused on campus, would you say? Instructors, is there anything that goes unused or underappreciated in terms of instruction?
So for the audience's sake, is there any technology that goes unused throughout the campus?
Or underused?
Or underused?
iPads. iPads.
iPads?
Yeah, we have a number of iPads, but iPad carts around this building where the professors have use of them. I don't think they utilize them to their full potential. They're a really amazing device, learning tool. I think we're just touching on that iPads and all that portable devices and stuff like that.
So would you say iPads and laptops are not utilized the same way as far as
Just iPads.
just
We don't
iPads?
have too many laptops around the building.
I see.
One of the actually really interesting things that I've noticed, in my work with students, my collaborations with students is, we talked about how, students need to come in having a basic understanding of how to work with a computer. When I'm largely working with, students who are recently graduated from high school, so fresh out of high school students. And it is a bit surprising that, yes, there is a disconnect between their ability to get on the computer and work efficiently versus what they're accustomed to, which is very mobile stuff. Like, I know students who type their papers on their iPhones, or their Androids, which kind of blows my mind.
Wow.
I'm kind of like, how is this possible? How are you doing this? It's a tiny screen. It's different from what I knew growing up. So, but sometimes what I wonder is, and getting back to the point about the iPads, what do we have in place to support mobile technology especially because a lot of our students who are coming out of high school, that's what they're geared for.
Well, the wireless infrastructure at the college is undergoing growth. So Lafayette Hall, as you know, is under renovation, and we're also adding a new building out front. Once that's done, there will be additional access points to increase that capacity. In Beacon Hall, we've reached pretty much saturation. So anyone with a mobile device and has a net ID can get onto our network. And if you don't have those credentials, then we can provide guest access and people can get onto those. So the world of mobility is ever increasing. And we need to stay up with that technology, and we are. As a system, we've upgraded to the wireless access points. In fact, if you, not in this room, but outside of this room, you look up and you'll see a white rectangular box with a blue or green dot on it, and that's an access point. And again, saturation in Beacon Hall is far greater than Lafayette Hall, but we'll have that fixed once the new building is up and running and we complete the renovation. So wireless is available, and that's what almost every student is walking in the door with. They may not have a computer at home, but I guarantee they have a smartphone. So.
Do you foresee added work to your workload as a result of the new construction building?
That's more of the technicians, I'm the plumber, so I'll provide the pipe that they connect to. And that goes to Mike and company and Sam company. So I have a small role in that.
Yes.
I used to work at CDWG, and there was an alliance with them to where if the students called up with their, okay. I used to work at CDWG, and as an account manager, and the students used to call up with their student ID, and they were able to get discounts on laptops, not Apple, but with any other brands of laptops. What alliances do we have as school students to get discounts?
For technology.
For technology.
I am not sure of this, so don't hold me 100%, but through the bookstore, there is a relationship, I believe, with Dell, and that is, but Follett is an independent source from Housatonic, so I would suggest the bookstore as a resource, but that's not tied to HCC IT.
Anybody else besides Follett?
Not that I'm aware of. I'm not.
Apple, if you go on Apple's website directly and you order, you will get a reply email and has to come to like a HCC or EDU domain. Then you pretty much verify that you're a student and you'll get a student discount. It won't be a great discount, and Dell has the same thing, but it'll be something. You get somewhat of a discount.
Because with CDW, you could get Lenovo, Toshiba, HP. There was a bigger variety than being stuck in that.
I also see that students there, they tell me a lot of different things, that downstairs they're getting less of a refund back, or money that's left over because tuition is rising and other things are happening, so they get less back. So they might not have enough in financial aid, but they could, if they work plus that money, they could get something pretty decent. But the college doesn't have that feature.
And, actually, if I could add to that, I know software-wise, all students should have access to the Microsoft Office suite, right? So that's part of Banner, right? You log in and then you can access your email and.
Outlook Office 365.
Okay, right. And that's accessible from anywhere you have a computer with internet access. Yeah.
Do we have any alliance like that with Adobe for Photoshop suite? Because I'm taking digital editing and I need Photoshop and the other to do movies and whatnot.
Adobe does offer some similar program. I know that's being offered to college staff and faculty. They do have something that you can purchase when you go back into I think it's, I'm going to guess, $10, $20 a month that they offer for students. It's a very, very comprehensive, but it's not a free thing. And to purchase that software outright is a fortune. But you can literally, I guess, you're almost renting it through the monthly payment.
Didn't know that.
Yeah.
Can you advertise it so that we know, please?
I could look into it for you if you want to contact me. Yes.
That'd be awesome.
Ordinarily, I send it out to staff and faculty, and depend on the faculty to convey that to their students. I don't usually go directly to the students.
Thank you, sir.
So I have a question. Based on the mundane, typical day-to-day inquiries, what would you say that primarily, and I'm not just referring to students because you get inquiries from both faculty, staff, and students, what skills would be helpful that you would say that most people need to be successful before calling on you? Come on, I know you have answers. All of you have answers to that.
I would say patience by far. Because in my office, it's a little different than most offices. It's 3/4 glass, got 3 doors, I got 2 walls of glass. And so students will come and they keep knocking. Like a second or two between each knock and they keep going. Wait a minute. And they don't understand that I'm in my office, I have a personal call. It's not personal like just about me, but if I'm talking to someone else here, I might not want the student to know what I'm talking about. So I can't just, because you knock, I come running. But what I can do is, when I do get to you, give you the best service that I can. That's all I can do. I noticed that also is their communication. If students come to our area in particular, some come, you're like, wow, you must have been raised by your grandparents because they have the best manners. And then you get someone else and they come in and they just scream at you like you owe them. And I need it yesterday. Yeah, you gotta have patience.
So besides patience and communication, technological skills is what I'm looking for as well.
Patience is in order because people must realize that technology doesn't have the answer to everything. Some things just don't work, are not designed to work. Just hasn't been thought of yet, or maybe the first person thought of. Give us a second to think of it too.
How about remembering your password? Writing it down and keeping it in a safe place so I won't have to call Mr. Tony Vitola every time. I'm referencing things like that. The little things that could be agitating and annoying if you have to adhere to them all the time, especially when the need is great and we need your assistance right away.
Well, the proper answer is, you shouldn't write down your password. You should call Mr. Vitola when you have to.
Thank you.
However, you can write it down. Just giving you the proper answer.
Yes, I appreciate that.
We do have students and faculty that perpetually forget their password. So we try to instruct them to pick things that they do remember. The car you drove in with is probably the car you're going to drive home with, or the class you're taking, things that are important to you right now during this semester. But sometimes even that doesn't work. But what I find that does work is the kiosk. Because if you come to me 3 times and I reset your password 3 times, you'll come back a 4th time. But if I reset your password the first time and explain everything to you and how a security question is important and how you can't use your birth date in your password, and you come back, I walk you to the kiosk and make you do it yourself.
I like that.
Those people that go to the kiosk that have to do it themselves don't continue to come back because they remember it now because they did it.
Yeah.
That's the best way, hands-on.
Right.
You just don't forget that way.
Hands-on versus taking them by the hand.
Right.
So I actually have, I guess this could be like a multi-part question. So you touched on, you all have touched on the importance of patience and, customer service. Well, it seems like I guess customer service is really integral to being, a professional within IT, given that, again, you have to work with, various people who might not have significant tech questions, but they think it is, so you have to be patient about it. So if you're looking at a prospective hire, all right, how do you evaluate or judge whether this person is going to be decent in that capacity, whether they're going to be a patient individual or they're customer service oriented? How do you do that, given that this person, you haven't worked with this person yet?
I've had the good fortune of hiring almost everyone in workspace today, and I don't think I made a mistake. They're all patient, they all care, and once you surround yourself with people like that, you don't have a problem at all. It's the old joke was hire technicians that play well with others, but that's always there. And they are all out. That comes through an interview. Their sincerity, their caring, because this is essentially a service organization, and that's what they have to.
So, I want to piggyback on what you said, Mr. Vitola. I ditto what you just said. I think that we have a phenomenal group of IT folks here at Housatonic Community College, and they are always at our service as soon as they can, break away from what they're doing to make themselves available, and they don't forget, and they do get back to you for the most part. I did have a question related to the services that are provided here. Since you all probably have been part of search committees, what exactly are you looking for? Because, you've been fortunate to have great people that you hired, but sometimes what looks on paper is not actually what gets put out once the hiring is done. But what are some of those key things that you look for in a resume when you decide that you're going to go for that candidate?
Well, state employee versus public is a bit different. So with the state, there's requirements that absolutely must be met. And so those are immediate when you're looking at the resume that either have those or they don't. So if they don't have those, they go off to the sorry, we can't hire you pile. Out in the private sector, things are a bit different. You have a little more latitude. Having come from that, you can't just judge a person by the information that's on the paper. As Mr. Patola said, you've got to interview them, you've got to see what those qualifications are, and try and sift through if what you're actually seeing and hearing is the real deal. So once that person interviews, I mean, some people don't interview well at all. They get very nervous. They don't know what to say. So they say nothing, they don't respond properly. So it's very difficult. You have to look at the resume. I strongly suggest a resume that is highly tuned, specific to the position, and a cover letter that's written to that, and then have questions ready to go, be ready for that interview, be very reactive to it. Don't just sit there when you're asked the question, answer it fully, and then be prepared to ask your own questions once the interview is over. Show a real desire and drive for that job, not just, I'm here for the job. Mm-hmm. So there's more to the resume and there's more to the interview process. And hopefully you make the right choice. And as Mr. Patola said, we do have a very good crew here. And our last hire, we were very successful with her as well. So it is a difficult process, and there are an awful lot of people in an applicant pool these days. And that's a tough decision when you have 3 or 4 applicants. Who is the final one chosen? So it's a strain on the applicant and a strain on the hiring committee, because you're potentially offering someone a great opportunity, and then the other 3 people who are there for that same opportunity don't get hired. Unfortunately, there's only one slot. So it's it's tough on the hiring committee as well. Can't hire everyone.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I don't know if you touched on this earlier, but our earlier first conversation this morning was about adaptive technologies. And so how is the campus suited for that in terms of accommodating students with disabilities?
We do everything possible, period.
Sorry.
We do everything possible. Whether it takes purchase of special equipment, special software, make your needs known, and we will do everything we can to accommodate.
That's great. I'm glad to hear it. Any other questions?
Will we be getting any smart boards or smart board type?
Smart board types are they come, they go, and they are at the discretion of the academic side of the house. If they want smart board types, then we will supply them, but they are not at our discretion. It's how academia wants to teach that will come.
In addition to Blackboard, you're saying? In addition to Blackboard, because that's one tool that they use. And smart boards now can see you. Do you want them? Do you really want them watching you? Well, if no one else has a question, if there's anything that the panel members would like to add that you'd like us to know about?
Broader thoughts?
As the IT director, I can only say that there's a wonderful bunch of guys that work here. And last thing is you don't have to wear a tie immediately.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely like to thank everybody who decided to sit on this panel, because I only had to ask once, and everybody said, yeah, sure, definitely. You know, so I love the fact that, you know, I love what you guys do in your official capacities, but the fact that you also do beyond that, and this is just one evidence of that. So I'd definitely like to thank you guys for supporting us in this event.
Yes, I would like to thank all the people on the screens who displayed questions on our board, and those of you that are here. And thank you, panelist members. We consider you as professionals, and we look up to you, and we wish you all much success in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you.